Hey, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you're watching this edition of Hypnosis Week Live. Yes, it's me back again, Alex Williams-Smith, better known to many of you as Jonathan Royal, the British bad boy of hypnosis of magicalguru.com. Anyway, as always, enough about me. I have yet another guest for you. This week, we're going to be exploring areas of basically, ultimately, getting more clients, making more money, selling more product services, well, whatever your particular area is, through effective advertising materials. And in this day and age, that includes obviously the internet. It will all become clearer as we go along. We'll also be talking briefly, hopefully we'll get time before the end, about tarot reading and how that can interrelate again with helping generate more clients for your mind therapy business. So please welcome to this week's edition of Hypnosis Week, Stuart Harrizon Cassels.
Hello.
Hello there. Look, right. Just briefly, before we actually get down into, I've got a whole bunch of questions and stuff here, but briefly, explain to the viewers who may not have been at a live event where they could have met you at one of my events or one of yours, your journey to, because ultimately people are going to learn today that you do graphic design and printing and website design, largely for mind therapists and also hypnotic entertainers, but people in this kind of industry. But you also do actually see therapy clients, do tarot readings, corporate events, and whatnot. So kind of a little bit your background, as it were, that got you to
it. Grew up in the entertainment industry. My stepfather was kid's magician. I decided that I didn't want to be on stage at all. So went to train as theatre lighting technician in theatres. Spent several wonderful years going around working with all sorts of C-name celebrities. And then from there, I met you one day in a nightclub and saw your hypnosis show and approached you afterwards and said, come on, it's all a load of tosh really, isn't it? And from there, we became good friends. You taught me hypnosis, first of all, stage hypnosis, because that was the thing I was mainly interested in. Didn't have an interest in hypnotherapy for a start. And then from there, went into the hypnotherapy side of things because it's big bucks for very little effort. In between all of that, I've been health and safety consultant on major events. I've run venues, so I've got an idea of what works for publicity, marketing, what an audience wants to see, hopefully. And since then, the tarot reading's taken off. There's all sorts going on. So yeah, a bit of a whirlwind career really, but it's all sort of centered in one area, if you like, give or take. The hypnosis, the tarot, the events.
I know you've missed a bit out there, so I'm just going to prompt him. He forgets. I mean, you didn't make any mention there of, we're going to be telling people later about how you could help them in terms of graphic design, for example.
Oh, that side of things. That started almost by accident. I had several weeks off work where I wasn't too well and ended up buying Photoshop, keen photographer, and started learning Photoshop and realised that not only could I create my own stuff, marketing my business, but there was a niche where I could offer other people stuff, and started off creating a few leaflets. And then when it came to website design, I was approached, and we're now doing WordPress sites and all the rest of it. I run about 15 sites of my own, and it's taken off that way as well. So we've got posters, designs all over the world for some of the big name hypnotists. I won't name them for their sake. But on top of that, it's obviously the design's working because we've got other top name hypnotists who love stealing my artwork. So I must be doing something right.
Yeah, indeed. What he's forgotten to tell you, either that or he's just been incredibly not had enough coffee, or as
never enough coffee,
is that he used to enter a weekly competition thing, and
yes,
ultimately ended up being published in
one of the top Photoshop books in the in the world by Steve Kaplan, How to Cheat in Photoshop. There was a weekly online competition, and we used to have to submit a piece of artwork on a basis, and one or two of my pieces have been published in Steve Kaplan's book since, and Steve is one of the leading authorities in Photoshop.
I mentioned like a Photoshop can look really crap when it's done badly.
Yes.
But when it's done right, you can't tell it's been photoshopped, other than perhaps logic telling you that somebody can't really walk on water, for example. So if you were thinking of having something done Photoshop, even if you can do it yourself, it is probably better to be non-emotionally attached to something that you want to use for marketing purposes, because you are likely to be biased in the outcome. Now, sometimes that can work if you've got a definite, there's only one way it could possibly be desired outcome in mind for a kind of a theme of a show, for example. But quite often I would say that being too emotionally close, you're not going to spot things that could look bad to other people, but also you're not likely to spot where something could be added to make it even better, which is better to get a complete third party, but someone who actually knows what they're doing, who's,
it's also best if you give us a rough idea what you're looking for and let us, as an artist, run with it. And so if you wanted a particular symbol or logo, give us a dozen keywords, a couple of sentences, and just see what we come up with. It may not look as you were planning for it to look, but there are reasons for it. The other thing is that it takes a lot less time for somebody that's non-emotionally attached to create something. And I know this from my own experience. If I try and create something for myself, I'll be there all day trying to refine it, and it won't change the impact. Whereas if I'm creating something for you, etc., as you know, you sent over an order for maybe 5-10 logos for a new project, and you've been quite surprised at how quickly they've come back and how clean they are, because there's no emotional attachment to me. So I can almost throw them out. It sounds quite blasé, but it's easier for me to create something for somebody else than it is for me to create something for me. I do find that it's quicker, and the results are, take your recent DRT logo. I think we were both very impressed with how that turned out, and it wasn't either.
Well, basically, if you go on magicalguru.com, click where it says Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp, by all means buy it while you're there. Yep. But if you do, use the discount code HYPNOTIZE, HYPNOTIZE, and it'll reduce it down to $497, 90% off. But no, seriously, go and look there. All of the logos, with the exception of the International Practitioners of Holistic Medicine, who endorse the course, because obviously that's their own logo that they already had, so that's nothing to do with Stuart. And the same with the United Kingdom Board of Clinical Hypnotherapy, they already had their logo. But all the other logos in terms of the modalities taught in the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp were designed from an incredibly brief outline of this is the kind of thing I'm looking for by Stuart and his company. So I mean, there's tons of examples there, especially what Stuart's just mentioned. Now, another thing that occurs to me is that, people at home, I want you to realise There are reasons for going to somebody. Just because you've got a skill set yourself, it's better to be emotionally detached. And here's another reason why. Because what works effectively in marketing, quite often, you as a human being might actually not like it. Indeed, you might actually hate it to the point where you're like, there's no way I want my name on that. Here's the thing, you've got a few choices there. You either totally ignore the advice of people who've helped others build their business, or you question it and you do what's called split testing. You have something designed your way, something designed the way the experts advise you. You distribute them to a similar marketplace and you see which gives you the best return on investment, best conversion into clients and profits. And then you kick yourself when you discover that the majority of the time what the experts told you, you'd have saved money just following that in the first place. But that is an option open to you. Or you totally ignore them, you do your own thing, and then months down the line when you wonder why you haven't got more clients and you're spending all this money, you end up doing what you could have done in the first place. Trust me, there's so many people doing it. And that kind of neatly leads me, because there's a few things we want to talk about. I'm going to start off, before we get onto websites and the internet and things, I'm going to start off, because this is mainly aimed at hypnotherapists, but be aware, if you're watching this as a stage hypnotist, yes, Stuart does offer design in that area as well. Just go on magicalguru.com, click on stage hypnosis shows. All my show posters, bar one that I had from years ago, designed by Stuart. And when you look at them, bear in mind, don't go, oh, I don't like that. Bear in mind, it's for a particular niche. There's a reason. You know, that is why there are different types of shows I do. Each has a different type of poster, so it's relevant to that. It's like if you say you're a jack of all trades, you're going to get less business, make less money than if you are perceived to be a specialist. And if you have advertising that's in line with the message that you're selling, yes, it would look totally out of place in another arena, but for that, it can be right. So leaflets for hypnotherapists. That's where we're going to start. People at home. We noticed, didn't we, quite a number of years ago now, that generally speaking, especially members of the boys' clubs, as I call them, where they're paying yearly fees to be in something that, frankly, doesn't really do them any good, that they all kind of had what I call the new age, tree-hugging, arty-farty, winky-wanky leaflets, or we're trying to look like a medical doctor, but we're not really type of leaflets. I'll let you pick it up from there. You pick it up from there as to what happened.
Yeah. There was a lot of blue being used by hypnotherapists. It was blue, it was white, and you could spot a hypnotherapist's leaflets away from, 50 meters if you were in, say, the sort of place that would have hypnotherapists, your sort of new agey therapy rooms, that sort of thing. If they had a poster board up, you could almost go from the other side of the room, I bet that's the hypnotherapist. The problem is that if you've got 5 hypnotherapists, all with leaflets on the board, you could go, that's the hypnotherapist, that's the hypnotherapist, that's it. They all look the same. And the problem is that when you're instilling, blue is obviously the colour of calm, peace, harmony. And if you're instilling that in somebody's mind, when you're actually trying to get them to solve their life, they suddenly realise that perhaps they don't need therapy at that time because they're calm, they're happy, they're relaxed. It's not really the feeling you want to be. This is going to sound awful. It's not the feeling you want to instill in a potential client's mind at that time. If they've got a problem that they're aware of, whether it's smoking, weight loss, phobias, pain, etc., and they're looking for help, and you present them with a piece of artwork that then goes, oh, I feel really calm right now. Is that really going to get them to pick up the phone there and then and make that decision? They may keep the leaflet. They may throw the leaflet away. But are they going to take action there and then? The best thing for that potential client is for them to take action. Pick up the phone, get on the internet, go to your website and book you. So ramping up the pain is, some people would say it's probably not ethical. I'm sure that the big boys clubs would say, oh, you can't do that. I wouldn't know. I'm not a member of any of the big boys clubs. I'm only a member of the ACMT, who've got a wonderful logo, by the way.
Yeah. And you can see it on that page we said before.
And
you don't have to pay money every... There you go. And you don't have to pay money every year. Once you remember, that's it. You remember for life. As long as you abide by all standard laws of health and safety and legal laws in whatever country or location you are in.
But some people say that we're ramping up the pain to get clients. You could look at it that way. You could look at it as you are just reinforcing the fact that they know they've got issues so that they take the next step to solving those issues themselves. Because without them taking action, they will always be in that rut.
Well, the truth is, as human beings, everything operates, and as therapists watching, you must know everything operates from a basis of pain or pleasure. Or if you prefer it, pain, pleasure. It depends which way around you're looking at it. And ironically, the reason we hear about people getting stuck in their comfort zones, in truth, actually, quite often it can be that they get stuck in an uncomfort zone, in so much as they are experiencing something that could be categorized as they don't want, so arguably should be pain. But they've got used to it, like the lobster being put into the cold water and the water being turned up slowly. So the point where it gets that hot that it's too late for it to get out, it's dead. Well, in the same way, people can be scared of moving away from the pain they've got comfortable because fear of the unknown. However, if the pain can be increased to the only way people, offering them the solution, which should be the pleasure, people think is the way to market. And the thing is, for some it will work. For all it will, maybe if you hit them on the right day at the right time. But generally speaking, if they're in that uncomfort zone I just spoke about, then the logic, the pleasure isn't going to be enough to make them take action there and then, because there's this internal fight maybe going on. Whereas if you can really ramp up the bloody pain so much that it suddenly becomes so bloody painful that they go, sod this, I am not comfortable with this at all, and they look for a solution to move away from it. And right in that moment, the logical solution is to take action on what they have in front of them, which in this context is your leaflet, for example. Then you are far more likely for them to make the buying decision, to contact you, book a session, and also to be in the state of mind where therapy is more likely to work for them there and then. So we sat down and looked at how could we scare the living crap out of people, essentially, you could kind of argue. And also bear in mind that for someone starting out, this is aimed either for someone starting out who needs to build up clients rapidly, or for somebody who wants to add this as one marketing string to their overall campaign. Because this is kind of a machine gun approach that could attract you smoking clients, weight loss clients, phobia clients, pain control clients, or a whole host of other things. And as we'll talk about later, to attract higher fees, you really want to be niching so that your leaflet's only talking about one thing. However, with experiment, with enough shock impact, we found, if you got one there, to start off with yeah, that's great. And I will for this side, so I'll start there.
Oh, right, fantastic. That's even...
See yes. On my half. Stu's got one there as well, and I'll just hold it, go down a little bit so you can see the weight area, hopefully there.
Yes.
Trust me, it's crystal clear, the printing. If anything, it's down to my lighting, webcam, or anything. But if we take that side, for example, the top, actually, to do this easier, so you can see it at the same time, if I have a second leaflet, so I can read, so the top bit, if a smoker was to suddenly see this amongst other leaflets, trust me, it jumps out.
Would it be easier if I did that and you read?
Yeah, go on. Well, this will be split screen, so both people will be able to, they'll see it on both sides.
Okay.
It says smoke, choke, death, disease. Do you want to die before your loved ones? Fed up being a drug addict? Want more money to help make your wildest dreams come true? Then call now to stop smoking with ease, which stands for eliminate the addiction to smoking with ease. And then the nice green tick, like you've done something right, is like the calming influence of the skull and crossbones, which is signifying death. Start living today, and then the number. Let's pull the leaflet away a second. Let's start with that. It's calling them to action, ultimately. They will self-identify. Do you want to die before your loved ones? They're going to go, no. Fed up with being a drug addict. They probably haven't thought of themselves that way, but they'll more than likely they won't like the idea of thinking of themselves as a drug addict. That's the point. Want more money to help your wildest dreams come true? Who's going to say anything other than yeah to that? Then call now to stop smoking with ease. It makes it sound easy, but also it's got that nice acronym, eliminate the addiction to smoking with ease. Start living today, which is underneath the skull and crossbones, implying that they're going to die if they don't. And the green tick, as opposed to the red tick. Red tick was negative at school. You've done something wrong. Green tick was you've done it right. Well, that where it's positioned is implying that the right thing to do is to ring up right now. Everything's about getting them to take immediate action, make a direct response. That's why it's called direct response marketing. You do want them to react there and then. And I literally just kind of I wrote the wording for this, but then I just gave it to Stu and said, look, put the colour scheme in, and it came back with the black, the darkness, the red for the contrast, for the, you know, he filled in the blank, so to speak, and made this what it is, which is an incredibly powerful leaf. Oh, now hold it up again, your end, but now on the fatties, as it were. Yep. Excellent, yeah, excellent. Fed up being fat, want to be proud of the person you see in the mirror, tired of useless diets that don't work, want to be the slim, sexy envy of all who know you. Then find out more about the proven weight management system used successfully by some of the world's top celebrities. Call now. Number, websites there, and, well, you can see the hippo picture, yeah? That is ultimately, without saying it, it's kind of, inside their head, they probably think they look like that, okay? Whether they do or don't's not really relevant. The point is, by mirroring it, making them go, I don't look like that, do I? Doesn't matter if they do or they don't. If they feel like that, to them it's their reality. Those questions will elicit in them, they will feel bad. And the solution is to call you. You're giving them the solution while they're feeling bad. At the moment that they feel the pain and really want to move away from it, you provide the solution. And they're more likely to take action. And also you've kind of associated celebrities there. People like that, especially in the world of diets and all that, which is your target market audience. And again, I just gave the words to Stu and he conjured this up, the colour scheme, which seems like my only instruction to him was make it a bit garish, go against all standard rules of graphic design, because the point is that this does stand out from all the other therapist leaflets, but then it touches the emotional hot buttons. So let's briefly look at the other side of the leaflet. Scaredy cat. Scaredy cat, that if they will self-identify if they have any fear or phobia. Does your fear or phobia hold you back in life? Do you get scared of things that others just laugh at? Wish you could truly feel free and fully in control at all times. Contact us today about the fast phobia cure. The scaredy cat image conjures up a mental image. Fast phobia cure, saying it's going to be a quick, it'll be a quick solution for them. And they self-identify. It ramps up the pain. Goes totally against what most therapists do, but there's a reason why it will help you stand out in a crowded marketplace. And then we have the bottom bit, and that's fed up with pain. Ouch. Does your long-term health problem or disability cause you pain? Fed up with the side effects of drugs? Wish you could live a happier, stress and pain-free life? Then find out more about natural drug-free pain relief. And then under that it says, warning, our expert consultants can also help you overcome confidence issues and many other of life's problems. Remember that every day you don't contact us is another day of your life wasted. Call now for more information. Number, website. Again, it's always about a call to action. It's about ramping up the pain. We've left that bottom bit, gives the opportunity for them to contact us for other stuff. That's the shotgun approach. But effectively, we're going mainly for smokers, weight loss, phobias, fears, and pain issues. And then we make a mention of confidence. They're the main bread and butter areas for where these leaflets will then be distributed. Now, stage one is you've got to have your design. Well, we've done that for you. I came up with the wording. Stu's come up with the design, the colour scheme. We then road tested these ourselves to see the sort of return on investment. Not going to mention figures, the reason being because it's different geographically everywhere, as people have found, but people have come back and bought them again and again, which tells us that ultimately they're making a profit. And remember, if you're charging, as we advise, at least £250 sterling for a therapy client for a session, then you don't need more than 2 or 3 therapy clients to have covered the printing of 5,000 of these double-sided, high quality, Stu will tell you about that in a minute, leaflets, and the cost of having them delivered. 2 or 3 clients at 250 quid and you're at break-even point, and then there's massive profits to be had after that. So yeah, tell them about the thickness, the psychology behind that, and where they distribute these for effective results. The
paper quality is far thicker than you will find most leaflets being printed on. This is 250 GSM. If I hold it like that, you can see that it's not bending. It's not gonna, it's, if you were to take a takeaway leaflet or the sort of leaflets that you get pushed through your door for window cleaning, etc., you'll find that they're usually around the 80 to 100 GSM, maybe a little bit thicker. They tend to be a bit like, certainly for those of us in Britain who are of a certain age who remember ISO, toilet roll at school, that sort of tracing paper stuff that was slippy, and we won't go into that. But this is 250 gram. It's card. You can probably hear that if I flick it.
It's glossy. It feels
glossy. It feels quality. I mean, this feels like luxury compared to your local takeaway menu or the sort of leaflets that get pushed through your door daily. It's twice as thick. It's, it feels as if this is something that's expensive, but it feels so nice. You've only got, short of actually spraying each leaflet with perfume or essential oils, etc., you've only got 2 senses when it comes to picking up a leaflet. One is obviously sight. You're going to see it, you're going to read it. The only other sense that is being involved when you're dealing with leaflets, when you pick one up, is the feeling of touch. And if you can make that leaflet stand out, not only graphically, and yes, as Jonathan says, it goes against everything that any designer will ever tell you. There are hypnotists probably watching now, hypnotherapists who are going, my God, I would never use that to advertise my company. That's fair enough. Not a problem. That's your choice, your company. But it makes it stand out. It stands out so much more than any other leaflet. Now, distribution is, there's several tricks. We do have a download, I think, in Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp for those who are already there. I will sort out a link for anybody that wants to download the free guide. Use it for your own leaflets, use it for these leaflets, whichever. Feel free. There's 2 ways to do it. One, you can get a company to deliver to every house in the neighbourhood. Prices do vary, and there are professional companies that specialise in delivering leaflets. There are certain things you've got to be aware of. One is that you are playing a little bit of a lottery. You can put out 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 leaflets, and at times you will hit a huge number of people because you've got them on the right day. When a leaflet goes through the door with these professional companies, they do go with other people's leaflets. They're not just going to deliver your leaflet on their own. At which point you are battling against other leaflets, which is another reason why you want the thick, quality, glossy 250 GSM and not the standard 180, 100 GSM that.
And another reason why you want it to be garish.
Yes, you want it to
goes
stand
against
out.
Everything else.
So you're not battling against the window cleaners, the conservatory and double glazing manufacturers, the takeaways. So when you put them out, if there's several people in the household, somebody might pick them all up and go, rubbish, leaflets, recycling, done. They'll never even get looked at. There is nothing you can do about that. There may be times when people pick them up and go, leaflets, I quite enjoy reading through the latest bargains from the supermarket, seeing what the takeaways have got on offer, etc., and reading through them, at which point they'll see it. If they don't identify with one of the issues here, if they're not overweight, if they don't suffer with chronic pain, if they don't have a phobia, or if they don't smoke, then obviously they're not your target market. However, they may know somebody who they care for, who is suffering with one of the issues that you've got to resolve. They may put it to one side so they can take it into work or show their sister, their brother, their mother, their child. So you've always got that opportunity. However, and it does work, you will, if you distribute enough of these in the right areas at the right time, you will hit gold. Obviously I can't give you exact figures, but we've looked into it, and we've got in the plan that I'll give Jonathan a link to when the video goes live. We've crunched the figures and the percentage that you need to make a profit on these leaflets, including delivery, with the sample figures that we've used in the past, is minimal. You've said it in the past to me, haven't you? You could write a message on a piece of toilet paper in feces. We'll use the clean version of what you say. But you could write your message on that, and if you give it out to enough people, you will get eventually somebody biting. But there's a better way of doing it, and that is to actually target the people that you know need your help, or the sort of people that would likely come to you in the first place. A lot of hypnotherapists, I know myself that a lot of my clients in the hypnotherapy clinic and a lot of other hypnotherapists tell me that the majority of their clients are female, and a lot of them are between the ages of 30 and 60. They're professional, or they're the yummy mummy type. People who have got not only a little bit of income, because let's face it, if you're unemployed and you've got a phobia, unless there's a reason to get rid of that phobia, are you going to find the money to solve your issues? But if you can target the right people in the right places at the right time, then you have got a leaflet that will sell you so easily. What happens if you could get somebody else to do it for you? If you were to put these leaflets into the sort of places that your potential ideal client goes to, such as beauty salons, nail bars, high-end hairdressers, and even the sort of I, not having kids myself, the sorts of softball play areas where mums congregate during the day, have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, and chat. If you can target those sorts of people and get somebody to sell that for you at the time, then you've got the opportunity to make lots of money. You're not sending out 5,000 leaflets to 5,000 houses and hoping that you hit the right person on the right day.
Yeah, in case you're wondering what it means by selling it for you at the time.
I was going to get onto that.
All right, well, I can tell you in a minute, but make a note of this. If you go to hypnosisweek.com and click on watch past episodes, or you go directly to youtube.com/celebrity hypnotist and click on the playlist Hypnosis Week. In the past episodes, above the past episodes, you will see 2 videos called Marketing and Practice Building for Hypnotherapists, where I give a complete step-by-step plan. It's purely just for marketing for weight loss and smoking cessation clients, but we do talk about in there where to cite your leaflets. The fact that if people are already getting their nails done and it's costing them like money for that and costing them money for the hair, they're already in a mind to spend money on what they perceive as feeling better, improving themselves, and that's your target customer. But also we cover in that video, it goes on about how to ultimately bribe people who own businesses to get you clients, as per. Go on, Stuart.
Yes, if you approach your hairdressing salons, especially the top end ones, the nail bars, the beauty salons, and these are ultimately places where the hairdresser, the nail technician, etc., is spending a lot of one-on-one time with the client. These are clients that they know a lot about. They talk, they share information, they have a personal link with that person, with their client. If you can get them to turn around and start selling your services, which are not in competition with what they're doing, by mentioning that the other day somebody came in and, you know, they're a hypnotherapist and they're absolutely brilliant at phobias, weight loss, smoking, etc. If they can bring something up that is personal to each client, then the client is more likely to become a client of yours. There's always been that trust between those two, and because there's that trust, when you're being mentioned, when your services are being sold, if you like, promoted, then you will have the trust being relayed onto your services. So how do you do this? With money. It's quite simple, really. Think of it as an affiliate scheme, a rewards scheme. I offer in the UK between £50 and £100 per client for each venue that gets me a client, for each shop, each business. Now, again, I don't know how much it costs to have your nails painted. It's been far too many years. I don't know how much it's cost for, you know, a decent, expensive haircut for ladies in, you know, the expensive hair salons in the area. But I guarantee that if you've got a hairdresser that stood there giving somebody a perm or dyeing their hair or straightening their hair, whatever, and all they've got to do in that time is talk, but they can make themselves another £100, guess what? They're going to do it for you. So you drop off your leaflets, you explain to them what you do and how you do it. Yes, you chat them up and you give them the opportunity. I'll say chat them up, I don't mean in a let's go out for a drink type of chat, but you sell yourself and you build rapport. You then offer them between £50 and £100, whatever you feel is the right price for every client that comes through the door. Okay. Now, there's two ways of doing this, because obviously you need to track who's coming in and where they're coming from. So if you advertise on your site that you are charging a little bit extra than you would be, but every time they send a client in from their from curl up and dye hairdressers, love that one, that's marketing for you. So if somebody was to ring up and go, oh, I got your leaflet at curl up and dye hairdressers, and I was told that you give a small discount or there's a free gift for me when I book because I've booked through them, you can then track who they are, where they've come from, and then once you've got the money, once you've seen the client, once the client's happy, you do go back and you do give. There are companies out there that say, why bother? They'll never know. They will, because you're dealing with their repeat clients. They will go back and they will say, oh, I stopped smoking 2 months ago because of that leaflet that you gave me. So you do make a point of going back as soon as possible and handing over that money in cash, as a check, doing it as bank transfer, whatever suits your business. And that way they are then convinced that you are genuine. They will sell you even more. They will turn around and go, oh, Jennifer was in last week and she smoked just like you smoke now, but she wanted to give up and I sent her to the hypnotherapy business on the other side of town, and not only did she get a discount because I recommended her, but she's turned around and said, I'm cured, I'm treated, I don't want to smoke again. If you want to give up smoking, why don't you take one of our leaflets? They're going to sell you if they can make £100 or £50 or $50 or whatever it's going to be. And if you can get, I personally only see 4 clients in a day. That's as much as I want to see. But if you can get 4 clients in through venues like that, you will make money. And I'd rather have 4 clients come in one day, see them, take the money and pay out £400 for the privilege than not have a single client coming through the door because I haven't got the leaflets, because I'm not having somebody sell for me.
Seriously, think about this, okay? If you charge at least £250 United Kingdom sterling for a session because you're selling the result, not your time, as we've talked about in past editions of Hypnosis Week. And even if you were to give away £100 a time, personally, I'd just give 50 away at that rate. But let's say you give £100 away. And because of this, and it doesn't have to be one hairdresser, it could be various hairdressers, beauty salons, sunbed shops, high-end, expensive women's clothing, lingerie stores where they go in and they have a personal fitter and really get to know the people. Then these people will become your unpaid, paid salespeople. By that I mean is you don't have to pay them a single penny until you've already taken money off the client. So all you are doing is ending up in a position where you are making money. You're not paying out for advertising up front. Whereas things like Google ads, Facebook ads, and all manner of modern day advertising cost you money before you get a result. Yeah, you've got a bit of outlay for leaflets, but it's a pittance in the grand scheme of things. You would have 4 clients on that example, even if you paid out 100 quid. 4 that are giving you £150 sterling clear profit, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, £600 United Kingdom sterling clear in a day. You could do more clients in a day. Stuart just chooses to do 4. I know people who will quite happily see 8 clients in a day. Get more booked in which case you've suddenly got £1,200 sterling, which is close to, not far off being $1,500 United States dollars on the 31st of January 2020 when this is recorded, to put it in perspective. The point is, the more salespeople you've got, the more hairdressers, the more beauty salons, or if you want to attract male clients as well as female clients, don't forget you can do this in the male hairdressers as well. You can do this in gyms where people go to where they might therefore want to stop smoking. there's other avenues. There's find people where it's a benefit to them to promote you. The benefit number one is they're going to make cold hard cash from you referring them. And personally, I just get a Sharpie marker and in the yellow bit of the leaflet design, write a word that's unique to that place, make a note of it and say when the person shows that leaflet with that code or mentions it on the phone, I know it's coming from you and I will pay you. And the fact that they do ultimately end up, they will know. You can't rip them off because those people go back. And if you did try and rip them off once, they'll never refer anyone else and they'll start bad-mouthing you. So don't worry, it sounds like, why would they do this on trust? Well, you just explain to them, I can't rip you off, can I? Because these people come back to you. And when you're short with the money promptly, they'll want to do it again. And you can have a team, a sales force of people in gyms, hairdressers, marketing to male people, female people, young, old, you name it, just by getting off your backside, your butt, your hiney, if you're in America, and going and giving, initially just say, couple of dozen of these leaflets to each place and tell them you can have more of them when you've given them to people who are going to come and see me. And each one of these is potentially worth £50 sterling to you, or £100 or $100 or whatever price you feel, but make it high, make it worthwhile. It's people who are working in places who are maybe on, £10 sterling or $15 an hour. If they can suddenly think, if I could get even, in their heads, if they could get you even one person a day and you were giving them 100 quid, that's more than what they're earning from their normal job of being there. How motivated they're going to be to promote you. That's what this is about. Plus, these stand out. It's doing the job for you. And they are all available to find at the links below this video. This leaflet is copyrighted. And we have taken action on people in the past who've stolen it. You want it like this? Your name can be put on, yes. Your telephone numbers and website can be put on, but the actual design, the proven impact, then you need to go to hypnotic-consultants.co.uk and click on therapy leaflets. But the leaflet link, the link to it will be below this video.
Can I just throw a couple of extra thoughts?
Yes, please.
First of all is once you've got leaflets out there, once they're working, once you're giving the cash over or the revenue, the reward, if you like, to each of the venues, one, you will find that they will ring you when they're running out of leaflets.
No, yeah, good point. Yeah,
it's brilliant. You don't have to keep running around looking for people. You can either post them out to them, or you can, as you're passing the next time, drop some more off to them. The other thing is, it is worthwhile investing in leaflet holders. Those are A5 for the UK market. We do slightly different size for the US market if you prefer, because American paper sizes are slightly different, but it's worthwhile as well investing in leaflet holders. I did have one. It's on the other side of the office, so I won't bother going and getting it yet. But these are literally a stand where you can pop your leaflets in, and they keep them neat, they keep them tidy, they use up a lot less footprint area, so you're not cluttering up everywhere. They're not going to fall on the floor so that somebody's going to come along and go, I'm sick of these leaflets, put them away. If you're investing in the leaflets, invest in some of these, and you can get them dirt cheap on eBay. They're the ones I like are the I'm saying Pyrex, the clear plastic. Yeah. Sorry, Perspex. Yes, thank you. I haven't had enough tea today. Yeah, Perspex holders, so they can see all the way down to your telephone number, and it's worthwhile investing in those. So yes.
So leaflets is seriously that. Go to hypnotic-consultants.co.uk. You can get these with your telephone number and website and name stuck on, which also gives you a license to then use them. The printing, it's ridiculous cheap. Just go and have a look. You only need to, even if you did pay a company to distribute them for you, house to house, you'd only need to get 2 or 3 250 quid therapy clients, and you're at break even into profit point. that's a nice rapid way of getting a return. But long-term sustainable marketing wise, offering rewards to the owners of shops to have these leaflets in there and to verbally sell you for a financial incentive is a massive marketing plan that can make the world of difference to your business. And also think about who can benefit from other areas as well. So they could get £100 or £50 off you for having referred the client, but also their business could end up making more money for having referred you. Example, get these leaflets into travel agents, independent ones. Okay, you might even find the chain ones. They're not supposed to. They're supposed to speak to head office. But if internally they agree to share the money between themselves in the store, so that head office never know that they're giving these leaflets out, you'd be amazed how money motivates people. So then you've got travel agents who are trying to sell people, overseas long distance holidays because they get more commission on that, who encounter the people who go, I couldn't go there, I couldn't be on a flight more than 2 hours, I'd be scared, or I couldn't get on a plane at all.
Or cruises, or...
Yeah, who can turn around and go, okay, so you've got a fear of flying, or you've got a fear of going on a cruise. This person has helped so many of my customers. And that person might, especially if they're with the wife and the wife of the person really wants to go on a cruise, but he's like, I'm scared of it. Or, for example, or she's scared of flying, he wants to go overseas. Their partner could end up going, no, give it a try. And if you're good as a therapist, because you've been recommended anyway by the, not estate agent, travel agent, there's a credibility factor there. It makes it a lot easier to do the session. But the thing is, you're giving money to the travel agent for referring the client. But then, once the person's no longer got the fear of flying or cruises, they're more likely to make a sale at a higher rate that makes them more commission. So it's in their interest to get their customers who've got phobias cured of the phobias. Or maybe to help them stop smoking, because then when they, have to go on this long flight, they won't be bothered about not having a cigarette, and they'll lay over at an airport where they can't smoke. They won't be bothered because they're no longer a smoker. Think of what's in it for the person to promote you. Money's one incentive. That goes right across the board. But also it can be an example like that. So yeah, I think we've pretty much covered the idea of leaflets. Make them different, make them stand out. The easy way is just to go to hypnotic-consultants.co.uk, buy the license to be able to use this proven plan with your name and number and website stuck on, and the leaflets printed and delivered to your door. Or if you're in a country where the cost of sending them would be prohibitive, it is possible to get your name, number and website address put on, and then get a license from Stuart to be able to get them printed in your country. He can probably advise on the best, cheapest.
We do have printing partners that we can arrange, and often the price is very similar to the UK price.
It's just better for you to do it in your country, because then there's not the shipping cost.
Yeah.
But we can help you with all of that, so don't be put off by that idea. So that's leaflets. We've covered a bit. The psychology of ramping up the pain. That works also with websites as well. Or for some people, depending on your niche market, this was shotgun approach. We're now going to talk niche marketing. But with niche marketing, if this was a leaflet that was purely about, say, weight loss, nothing else, weight loss and weight management, it would still apply to be able to put it in the hairdressers, the gyms and all those places, and offering the financial incentive. All of that would still apply. It's just the leaflet would be targeted to one nature of customer. That is all. Which with your websites, having a specific website that only deals with, for example, weight loss, makes you look more like an expert, more credible, and it justifies why you're charging £250 for a session, for example. Which leads neatly into, could you please explain the cunning plan you put together for hypnotherapists to get more business with the Elite Hypnosis websites kit?
Oh, yes, the 10 websites in one. This was created round about the time you did the London seminar. It was getting more and more obvious that hypnotherapists are doing a shotgun approach. There are hypnotherapists out there that will advertise that they can treat, cure, solve over 150 different issues. And yes, I have seen websites where there are over 150 different issues listed alphabetically. And that's not just literally a list of phobias. That is everything from, phobias is just one out of 150. They have literally just bombarded with this, hoping that they will hit everything. There's an issue with that, but several issues. One, you look like a jack of all trades. Two, Google really doesn't like it when you start doing that. It's not as good as if you've got a site that specializes in smoking cessation or weight loss or phobias, anxiety, etc.
Because then more of your content in that site, well, all of the content when it's niched, is relevant to that subject matter. So if someone's searching for smoking cessation or stop smoking, Google, unless you're paying for adverts, will rank and more likely to show sites that have got the majority of their content relevant, rather than it covering a multitude of stuff.
Your potential client will be searching for Stop Smoking London or Stop Smoking Hypnotherapist Specialist in London, or Google will pick up on the location and deliver them the best results. So the plan, we created a set of 10 websites in the Elite Hypnosis website kit. It was originally 9. We've added hypnobirthing because it was requested by several people. So that's now a free bonus in the set. What we suggest is that you go to a company such as D9 Hosting. I'll provide you with a link to that. It will be an affiliate link. I don't get much, but they pay me to advertise their company. I would advertise it anyhow. They're absolutely brilliant, D9 Hosting. Absolutely stunning uptime. It's one that a lot of internet marketers use. I know you use it yourself for some of your websites. I use it for all mine. And they have a plan where they have what they call an unlimited hosting account. That's unlimited domains, unlimited email accounts. You are limited on bandwidth per month to a point, but I've never even hit close to that. And that's with 15 websites of my own, plus hosting other people's websites for them. Their technical service is brilliant, spot on. So you set up your first website. You go for a general looking website. You go for the one that is a little bit of a catch-all, and you advertise maybe 4 or 5 different services on there. Because at the end of the day, being recognized as a hypnotherapist that does certain things is good, and having several things on option won't hurt. Your hosting is going to cost you around about £100, £150 a year. A domain name for your website will cost you about £10, $10 thereabouts. So your first website, once you've built it, to actually host it will cost you round about the £150 mark, $150. However, you've got your hosting now for the full year. So once you've got your site live, it's got its content, you're happy with it, and the phone's ringing, you then set up a niche site. And that might be, let's say, Stop Smoking. And you set that up, and all you've got to do is pay for your domain and your website design. Now, website design will cost you round about, I think we're charging about £600 for a standard website design now, give or take. However, there's a website design already here. It's WordPress based. It's easy to install. You don't need to know any really difficult coding. You can update the site yourself anywhere in the world that's got an internet connection from any computer. No software required. And at that point, you can be the specialist in Stop Smoking. So this is how to do it. You get yourself a new telephone number. In the UK, we've got a company called virtuallylocal.co.uk. And for the price of about £20, you can get a landline anywhere in the country that diverts to your phone. Now that £20 is actually credit that then gets used up every time somebody rings you for pennies a minute. So you buy yourself a new telephone number in the nearest, largest major city near you. You go and you put that on your website. So you've got a new website that specialises in stop smoking. You've got a new telephone number. You then save that to your mobile so that as the incoming calls come in, it comes up with stop smoking website, Manchester. So you can actually answer it with, hello, stop smoking Manchester, how can I help you? You know who's ringing you or which website they're ringing from. Once you've got that up and running and you've got stop smoking clients coming in, you might decide that you don't want to specialise just in that. You want to do a bit of weight loss because stop smoking gets a bit boring after a while. So you set up another website. Of course, it would cost you £600 for it. No, it wouldn't, because there's one in the kit. You've already got the right to use that along with the other 9 sites. So you've got weight loss site, which you've already paid for. So basically all it's going to cost you is a tenner for the domain and 20 quid for a new telephone number, which you then redirect to your mobile, save the telephone number in your mobile with Weight Loss Manchester. And you do this maybe once a month. The total price is so negligible. If you were to set up, say, 10 websites, that's overkill perhaps, but if you were to set up 10 websites, you're paying £150 for, let's do the figures, £150 for your hosting. You're paying about £100 for domain names. So that's £250 we're at so far. Okay, each telephone number is going to cost you £20, but that's credit for incoming calls that will last you, until you've used up the credit. Obviously, the more phone calls you get, the more inquiries, it will cost you more, but guess what? You're going to get more clients off that. Let's say it's going to cost you your initial outlay of £200 for your telephone numbers. Don't think there's much more that it's going to cost you. You're going to have to pay for the lifetime license on Elite Hypnosis websites, the 10 designs. Now on there you've got general hypnotherapy designs. We've got one with blue skies and hot air balloon floating peacefully away. We've got happy people jumping. We've got one with an eye, so you've got that hypnosis style design that people would imagine. There's a phobia website, stop smoking website, weight loss website. There's the hypnobirthing website for those of you who want to. And at the 10 websites, so I can't remember, we're doing a special offer for Hypno.
Well, below this video, if you look, it'll say Elite Hypnosis websites, and if you click on that link, it will take you to where it would cost you 797 United States dollars for that package. However, if you've seen this video, click the green buy now button, and then you'll get taken to another screen, and somewhere on it, it says apply coupon or discount code. If in that box you type in block capital letters, this is very important, it will only work if you do it in block capital letters, the word Cassels, as in C-A-S-T-L-E-S, but it will say that below the video, and then click apply, it will knock off a massive 70% from the usual price, meaning you can get the 10 WordPress ready-made websites, but also you will also get WordPress training videos teaching you how to set up the websites, how to use it, how to get the websites found, how to get traffic to them, and everything else you could think of. You'll also get a whole bunch of copyright-free, royalty-free photos to use on your websites, on your social media. You'll get social media tools. There's a whole bunch of stuff. It tells you all at the link, and that will come down to $239.10. Now, to put it in perspective, if you were to get your hosting and pay for 10 domain names at roughly £10, $10 each, and get the 10 special numbers, follow the plan that Stuart's mentioned, that will cost you about £450 sterling most, which is about $500 as we speak on the 31st of January 2020. If you took that $500 and added it to just the $239.10 that you can get all of these websites and business building tools for at the link below here when you use the discount code Cassels, CASTLES, then that actually means in total you will have spent less than the normal retail price of this package to end up with 10 fully functioning online, attracting you through different niche areas, websites, where when people ring up the number, it tells you on your mobile where they're ringing from so you can answer it and seem like the specialist, credible expert in that area who's got, you know, the phone answered correctly, so they're never going to twig you've got 10 different niche websites. And it will increase your inquiries, it will increase your conversions because of the credibility, it will increase your profits, and every year after that, you won't have to have bought the websites, will you? So every year after that, it becomes even cheaper, your running cost. Bloody hell, at £250 sterling for a client, which we teach you how to get in the marketing and practice building for hypnotherapists videos that you can find at Celebrity, youtube.com/celebrity hypnotist in the Hypnosis Week folder, or go to hypnosisweek.com, click on past episodes, look for the 2 videos, marketing and practice building for hypnotherapists. That plan will show you how to easily be getting clients for £250 sterling. You literally only need 2 of them a year, 2 additional clients a year to cover your entire year's 10 websites and personal numbers. And you know, it's ridiculous. If you get 1 a quarter, 1 every 3 months, that would cover your websites, your telephone numbers, and it would also cover getting something ridiculous like 10, 15 or 20,000 of these leaflets printed and out and about. There's no excuse for not having more clients. There's no excuse for not making more money.
Even if you just wanted to niche in smoking cessation, you've got several advantages. One, because you are the perceived expert in your locality, you can charge more because you are, I can tell you the truth, there's hypnotherapists in the area where I am, and they're charging between £60 and £80 to stop people from smoking. Now, a packet of cigarettes now is, I believe, between £11 and £12. A 20-a-day smoker in the course of a month will be spending about £350 by my reckoning, maybe a little bit more, between £350 and £400, because no doubt when they go out to the pub of a Saturday night, meet their friends, they probably smoke more and so on. So let's £400 to stop smoke that they spend on cigarettes. If you can offer them, as the expert in your field, a stop smoking course, a smoking cessation course that is slightly less or even equal to what they're paying per month in cigarettes, they will do it, because there's nothing to lose, especially if you give them a money back guarantee. But there are other advantages. Let's say you didn't want to do the hypnobirthing, the weight loss and the pain. Even by purchasing the whole kit, you do get a smoking site. Obviously, these are licensed for individual use. You can't resell the discs. You can't sell the designs on to anybody else. That'd be wrong. But you could use the same site several times in different towns. We know of a hypnotherapist, I won't mention names, who is using the Stop Smoking site at least 10 times now, not only in different parts of this country, but around the world. And he has clinics in London, the Midlands, the Northwest, and as I say, abroad. And he can charge different figures. He can choose when to work, where to work. And the other advantage is, let's say that you live in a less salubrious part of the world, or less salubrious town in the country that you're in. But the next town over is very posh. It's got a lot of money because it's a bit more of a successful area. It's got the industry. And at that point, just by using that virtual number, if you don't take anything away from this today at all, apart from this virtually local number in the UK, and I'm sure there are equivalents in the US and Australia, Canada.
Search Google for virtual landline telephone number, and you buy them.
You are looking for a landline number. You want one that you can set up in the next town over, even if it's an hour's drive away. But they've got so much more money. They're so much posher. They're perceived to have, they're the clients that you want, but you can't really afford to have an office there permanently, or as it is, you don't want to move because of family or whatever it is. If you would set up one telephone number through Virtually Local, I don't make a penny out of them, I do wish they had an affiliate link, but if you went through Virtually Local and got a telephone number for somewhere in the centre of London rather than Essex, nothing against Essex, I'm just using it as an example, but you could double your fees overnight, and you've got in your pocket permanently an office telephone number that is the centre of London. If you don't take anything else away from today, that has got to be worth your time watching.
And the fact is, you can hire in England, in Liverpool, it's Rodney Street. In London, it's classed as Harley Street. Different places in the world, you have your place that's perceptively where the top people in the medical profession have their offices. The truth is, Harley Street, London, for example, you can hire offices on an hourly or daily basis. Yes, it's cost a little bit more than it would do, you know, getting a room somewhere else. But the beauty is, well, actually, the less often you hire them, the more it will cost you. But it doesn't matter if you're charging at least 250 quid a session, because if you book all your clients in one day, for example, so you see 6 or 8 people in one day, it doesn't really matter to you if it costs you 100 or 200 quid to hire the room on Harley Street for the day. Okay, you can get it for far less than that, but trust me, I'm just saying it doesn't matter, because you're still going to make a massive wodge of profit. And you book them all in on the 1 or 2 days that you're going to go to London, because that way you're making enough to cover your hotel, your travel, and a very nice profit on top. But the perception is, I can't fit you in till then because I'm so busy with clients. Never ever say you can book somebody in tomorrow. If you're good at what you do, if you're the best, you'd have at least a few weeks waiting list. And, you know, there are people we know who are going and they're doing 2 days or 1 day a month at Harley Street, and 1 day a month in Birmingham, 1 day a month in Glasgow, 1 day a month over in Spain even. And they're doing this in about 10 different locations. They're only, even with travel, they're only working maybe 14, 15 days in the month. And they are earning far more than the average hypnotherapist could possibly dream of. But by using the business model we've just shared with you here, tied in with, in some areas, the leaflets and referral system, tied in with the kind of multi-stage marketing plan that you can learn in the marketing and practice building for hypnotherapists 2-part video that's in the Hypnosis Week folder on YouTube, which you can find by hypnosisweek.com. So we've covered websites. Essentially, once you've got a website, you've got to get traffic to it. Now, the traffic's either going to go there through your leaflets, or you're going to go there because you're going to do free talks for local groups and societies, and then get them to, because they now believe in you, they'll go and visit your website. or they're going to find your website because you join loads of, for example, arthritis support groups on Facebook and other social media channels, and then you maybe set up a Facebook account that's not in your name. It looks like a person. You get a royalty-free photo. You put a fake name on it. You buy a cheap SIM card so you can verify that you have to verify via phone number, so that the Facebook account gets set up. That can join these arthritis support groups and then post, wow, I've had this issue with arthritis for years, but I went to see Stuart Cassels, or I went to see Jonathan Royal, or whatever your name is, therapist, and now I've cut down my drug intake, I feel better and all this. Check them out here, and you put your website link, and it looks like a third party is recommending you to a mass audience of people who are target customers for that niche, who then go to a website that's niched for that, that makes you look like the leading expert in that field, which justifies why you can charge more. You've got to still get traffic there, but that's all covered in those marketing strategies and plans. And in the package, you get training that tells you that. Indeed, if you go to the link below here, where the website's Elite Hypnosis website's link is, on that page there is a link to a blog that Stuart put together explaining how to set up the different websites, different telephone numbers, different domain names, doing it for either the same niche in different areas, or for different niches in one area, or both. This literally opens up the world to you. And you know, either you hire your office as and when you need it, or you see people via Zoom or Skype or another online video platform. So you don't even need an office. You can just get a nice backdrop done by way of a printed roller banner or something, so that shows up, which again, hypnotic-consultants.co.uk can help you with the design of those, the printing of those, and consultation with those. So we've covered leaflets, we've covered websites, we've covered monetizing, bribing people. We've covered how to get traffic to your website through using Facebook groups and such like. We did cover this briefly, but mention a little bit about, because obviously you also do graphic design and printing of business cards.
Yes.
Some of the massive mistakes most people make with business cards, I'll start off with that people quite often, because they're attached to it egotistically, put their name at the top rather than the business benefit of what they do to the customer.
Oh God, yeah. Well, this goes to domain names as well. So many websites, so many business cards. It's an egotistical. I might like to be offensive.
Yeah.
It's a wank fest. It's complete, and probably going to be people turning off very shortly when they realise that I'm talking about them. Maybe not in particular and directly, but if you recognise yourself here, just wonder whether or not that if your website is my name hypnotherapy.com, whether that really sells what you're selling, or
you're currently appearing on television and in the national media regularly.
Yeah, maybe we could possibly let those off who are in the national media and on television off a little bit, but wouldn't it be much better if you could offer stopsmokingmanchester.co.uk? Now, I'm sure that as domain name has gone. If it hasn't, I'll be checking it very shortly. It certainly had gone last time I checked. But if you can offer something that is direct, that goes, oh, this is me. Your name shouldn't be the biggest thing on the card. Quite honestly, if you're a stage hypnotist, if there are any still watching, your name shouldn't be the biggest thing on the poster unless you are one of the big top hypnotists. You should offer a solution as the main point. You should keep it clean, you should keep it simple. There are many thoughts about whether your business card should be double-sided or single-sided. That is entirely up to how you use your business cards, how you approach people. I'm more and more going for the single-sided design now, just because it gives you something to write on the back. You can write a code, you can write a discount code if you wanted, or you could write extra details on who you are and what you offer. It should be short, it should be punchy, it should be snappy. Quite honestly, all I need to know if I'm receiving your business card is I need to know what you do, who you are, and how to get in touch with you. Possibly a little bit more information about you, where I'd find it. 4 things, nothing more. What you do. You're a hypnotherapist that specialises in smoking cessation. Right? That should be big, bold, stop smoking with hypnotherapy. Possibly use that as part of your logo. Stop smoking logo, the circle with the line through it. Something that a lot of people are used to now. Who you are. Your name. Don't be afraid of putting letters after your name, as long as it's not a huge long list. That's the other thing. Hypnotherapists that have got 20, 30 letters after their name. Once we've got past 3 letters, 1 qualification, maybe 2, I think we're sort of running out of space and nobody's going to read them. Nobody actually knows what they mean.
And they can't care, really.
Yeah.
Can you offer them the outcome they want?
Yep.
Do you offer the service they want? That is all they're really fussed about.
How to get in touch. Personally, I'd rather somebody rang me than emailed me. It's easier to close a sale on the phone because you can literally be on the phone. You can explain what you do, how you do it, and you can turn around and go, I have got one slot available for 4 weeks' time. Do you want me to put you in now? I'll pencil you in, but until you pay your deposit, it's not guaranteed, but you must pay your deposit within the next 3 days, otherwise I'll have to let it go to somebody else. So, telephone number. Don't really need an email address because you're going to put your web address. It doesn't have to be major, and your web address should be as niche as the rest of the card. Your card should match maybe not necessarily exactly in the same design, but it should mirror if you've got blue fluffy sky, blue sky with fluffy clouds, then your card really should match that. I wouldn't recommend either, but yeah,
follows a theme. It's almost a brand. It's perceived credibility.
Don't go for the templates that you can get on certain sites. I'm not going to name them. It used to be that certainly in the UK you could tell when somebody had their free business cards designed through big national companies that would charge you, $9.99 for delivery, and that was it. Because everybody had the same design. I was guilty of it many years ago. And the shape and the size of the card and the quality of the card was crap. Far better to go for I like a nice 400 GSM gram card that feels quality, slightly matte, but it gets the job done. Some people might want them laminating. That's fair enough. Be aware that if it's laminated, if you are going for single-sided, it's going to be a lot harder to write on the back, so carry a Sharpie marker with you. But yeah, business cards, quality, keep it simple. Who you are, what you do, or first of all, what you do as your main thing. Some way of contacting you should be your next size, more information, and who you are. That should be it, and a nice simple logo. Depending on your methods, your niche, etc. Oh, my other thing. Don't put your photograph on your business card unless you're famous. I hate it. It's another one. I know Jonathan's laughing because I've just finished printing a huge number of business cards for him, all of which have his photograph on one side. But you can get away with it because the contents of where you're using them and how you're using them for particular things. These are not hypnotherapy hypnotherapy cards, by the way. I must point this out. But yes, your photo. Quite honestly, I don't want to see your photo on a business card. It's not going to sell anything for me unless, you know, you're really good looking. And even then, really, yeah, it's an ego.
The simple fact is, the business card should really, unless someone's giving it to somebody else because they've gone, oh, I saw this person and they can help you with X, Y, Z issue, in which case it's almost like they're personally recommending you, then it doesn't matter what you look like anyway. They're going to ring you or look at your website. Generally speaking, people with business cards who've got them have got them because they've been handed them by you. So they know what you bloody look like. If they've got any interest in anything, it's being reminded of what the outcome is, the service, the product, or the benefit to them that you offer, which is why you have a headline on your business card, for example, like Manchester's #1 smoking cessation consultant. When you're ready to stop smoking with ease, call, boom, call to action. It's got to follow the similar principles to the leaflets. Even on the leaflets, it's not got a picture of the therapist on. You know why? Because when you get enough business coming in, there's not even a therapist's name on there. They go to the website, they'll find out that it's Stuart Cassels, or it's Jonathan Royal, or it's your good self. But if you get that busy through inquiries, conversions, then you can bring in a local therapist who's not making enough money. You're charging 250 quid a session. You're giving 100 quid referral fee to the hairdresser, say. That therapist was struggling to get clients at 60, 70 quid. But if you suddenly go, look, I'm going to give you £100 for each client you treat, they're going to bend over backwards to do it. And you still make 50 quid for doing naff all except generating the client in that example. So you could add their details to your website. When you're busy or don't want to work or you're too booked up, they get referred to the other therapist. Hence the advantage of not putting a name on the leaflets, because it makes you look like a specialist consultancy practice. And when it's niched, it looks credible because it is very much like the private medical practice mentality that triggers off. So I mean, that's business cards, leaflets, websites. Put those together. Go on.
Just one more. Another pet hate. Mobile numbers. I know that the leaflets we've been showing do have, or one of them does have a personal mobile number. That one doesn't. That's a landline number. The other one does. However, those are just samples that came out the office. We've now redesigned them with a new number on for the client. But mobile numbers, don't put them on your business card. Don't put them on your website. The only people that should be using mobile numbers nowadays for that sort of publicity are those that are landscape gardeners and those that go around repaving driveways. You don't ring your doctor up on a mobile number, do you? Exactly.
Some practices do have that option now, actually.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Maybe for text messaging, etc.
Well, generally speaking, your number is a landline, number.
And go for, don't be afraid to have 2 or 3 numbers that are, different areas, different towns with different websites. It's, even one website with Stop Smoking Leeds, Stop Smoking Manchester, Stop Smoking Sheffield, with different options, different pages, and you could be the Stop Smoking Company as Alan Carr, not the comedian, the Stop Smoking expert, who's sadly no longer with us. But he set up centres all over the country with different telephone numbers, different contact details. You could do that quite easily. Yeah, mobile numbers.
Get a pad and a pen, as I say every week. Watch this again from the beginning, take notes. There will be website links below this, namely to hypnotic-consultants.co.uk for graphic design, for the shocking website leaflets, or for having your own custom leaflets designed, backdrop banners, you name it, any form of graphic design or printing is hypnotic-consultants.co.uk. For custom built websites, Elite Hypnosis websites, there will be a link below here. But for the website package and license with the 70% off discount, which is Cassels, the discount code in block capitals, CASTLES, make note of it, CASTLES. Put that in the box and it will drop the price down by 70%. You'll also see one final link below the video, which is to a complete professional tarot reading and fortune telling psychic divination course. Now, if you put the discount code Cassels into that, it will reduce it from $397 down to $198.50, which frankly, you can earn that back in one evening by organising a psychic party. And you can, the kind of thing that tarotparty.co.uk, tarotparty.co.uk, which is a website Stuart designed, but more importantly, it's a website Stuart owns because he runs Tarot Party. Very briefly before we finish, we'll probably do an in-depth interview on this sometime in the future, but can you give people a bit of an insight into how being able to offer tarot readings or palmistry or other things can attract people who are maybe scared off going to see a therapist, but give them a therapeutic experience of being able to offload their problems, where at the end of it, when they realise you, the person they now trust, could offer them the help to stop smoking or overcome their phobia, they're more likely then to book that service as well, because they now overcome that mental block. Give us a bit of a background.
An average tarot reading I offer tarot readings in people's houses, along with trade shows, corporate shows. That's slightly different. We'll concentrate on the house parties, where the hostess will get a group of friends around, family. They'll crack open a couple of bottles of wine, have some nibbles, and they'll have their tarot cards read. I am spending round about half an hour at a time with each person that's having their cards read. It's not too difficult to learn how to read the cards. You can learn through the course that Alex was talking about, Jonathan. You can learn it in a day, everything you need to know. But if you're spending half an hour plus with somebody, talking about their most intimate issues, their most intimate times, and they will open up to you. It's amazing how much they will tell you when they're sat there having their fortunes read. I could give you examples, but it wouldn't be ethical. But let's say that I know a lot about a lot of people around the world through reading their tarot cards. And it is an ideal opportunity. I've had people admit to me that they have drug addictions. I have had people tell me that they want to give up smoking. I've had people turn around and say that they're suffering with anxiety, depression, a phobia, etc. Because you build up this rapport. You are becoming, as you like, almost a psychotherapist for half an hour. A good tarot reading isn't just about me talking. It's about me stopping and listening. It's about the feedback. It's about learning as much about that person as possible. I'm not going to go into the tricks that I use on how to get that. If you want to learn how to successfully read somebody, how to build that rapport, the sort of tips and tricks that I do use regularly that other professional psychics won't tell you. And let me point out that I do not class myself as a professional psychic. I am a professional psychic entertainer. I am a intuitive psychic. I am not a medium. And I don't like just being called a psychic. I am a fortune teller. I am, if you like, a therapist, your best friend for half an hour. It's my job to get to know the person on the other side of the table. It's my job to talk to them. It's my job to get them to open up, to nod, to agree, to tell me things about themselves. If in doing 10 readings, one person out of 10 isn't in tears in half an hour, I haven't done my job properly. Sounds harsh, but as you know, at trade shows, etc., where you've come along to see the show and we've got 4 or 5 hour queues waiting for us, and often enough we will have people coming out the booth.
Emotional release. It's that catharsis moment. Some call it the abreaction.
Yes.
The catharsis moment. They release the energy, the emotion, the pent up fear, whatever, and they do genuinely feel better for it. But you need to know how to handle that, and that's where the crossover is between doing ethical, effective fortune telling and tarot card reading and runes, palmistry, whatever, and hypnotherapy. Not only in getting clients one way to the other, but in dealing with those people so that they are fully psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, in every other way, safe and feel better after they enter the room than they did beforehand. Yep. And that's why I would recommend therapists do actually look at the link below and do consider learning the ethical, correct way of doing fortune telling and tarot reading, and you'll learn a lot of skills that cross relate.
Yes, there's a lot of skills that do cross relate, and I believe that being a hypnotherapist has made me a better tarot reader, fortune teller, divinator. But I also believe that the psychic entertainment side of things has made me a better therapist. There is a lot there. And if you can offer somebody the solutions to their problems when somebody turns around and goes, yes, the cards are telling me that I need to stop smoking, I need to lose weight, etc. And I'm not talking about literally just looking at somebody and going, you're overweight, and I'm going to use this to my advantage by saying that the cards say you need to lose weight, because that wouldn't be ethical. I'm sure there are people out there that would think that with maybe a little bit of magical skill, maybe they could control the cards, so they could stack the deck, so that they could create a reading that would then have an impact. I can tell you now that if you were to try and do that, if you were to try and manipulate the cards as such with a standard script, you would get nowhere. I have read for thousands upon thousands of people all over the country and abroad at trade shows, corporate shows, football clubs, race courses, houses. And I can tell you now that the best readings come from a genuine spread and literally, interpreting the cards as they sit. And this is from somebody that often enough, as you know, Jonathan, I will turn around every so often and go, I do this. I don't believe in it, but I do it. And the video training course, I openly admit that, coming from, almost technical background through theatre, lighting, etc., the engineering side of things, I'm not religious. I'm not very, spiritual, if you like, at times, but, there's something in it. There is definitely something in there, and learning the tarot is a great way to get clients. It's also a great way to connect with people, and it's a great way of starting conversations.
Excellent. Speaking of connections, all the website links you need to connect with the mega discounts that have been mentioned, or with the products and services that have been mentioned, or with Stuart directly, will be below this video on YouTube, or will be in the post where this video is on social media. As always, watch this with a pad and pen, take notes, and then take action on it, more importantly, because those special offers will not last forever. We reserve the right to withdraw them at any time, so now is the time to take action. Thank you very much indeed for your time, Stuart. It's been a pleasure. Thank you all for watching. Please do me a favour, share this video far and wide so more and more people can tune in next week for a next edition of Hypnosis Week. Bye for now.